Hey y'all. Okay, so I saw a comment and it really bugs me every time I see it. But women are getting smarter and they're realizing that I don't have to submit to your ass, okay? Meaning their partner. I see this submit conversation come up a lot of times with men of color, black men in particular. And if a man is secure with who he is and he is not a control freak slash narcissist, he has no desire to submit to you. Okay. But because many of them are narcissistic because they were spoiled rotten or they were abused as kids, which spoiling is abuse because you're not preparing them for the real world. You're creating this fantasy bubble, and the real world doesn't operate that way. So it's a form of abuse. But for guys who are I see this with black men. Let's just keep it real. We see this with black men. Submit, submit, submit. I think that is a typical narcissistic tactic because they are obsessed with control. I am a grown ass woman. I do not have to submit to you. Okay. And I'm starting to see more and more comments where women are, oh, here we go with the yawning again. Damn it. Okay, let's try this again. Okay. I'm seeing where more and more women realize that marriage works more for the man than it does for the woman. She gets to be the house slave. He gets to sit on his ass and watch football and cut the grass once every week and a half to 2 weeks. If you're lucky, he'll cut the grass. If you're lucky, he'll take out the trash. But everything is done by the woman. She pops the kids out. She has to be everything for him, and he just has to exist. Okay, so women are opting out of marriages, they're opting out of relationships. Um, they're just opting out, and the submit thing is just, we need to just toss that word in the trash where it belongs. Now, I don't know what word can be used to replace it that's not as, oh, what would the word be? Offensive. There's got to be a better way to describe that. For example, let's say I'm in a club with my partner. It's a classy joint, whatever. And, nice jazz band. They've got food. It's a classy joint. But two people start arguing. And my partner tells me, I need you to go outside right now because it's getting ready to pop off. Go outside right now. Don't ask me questions. Go. Then I'm going to go. I'm not going to want him to stay in there, but if he says go now, then I need to go. Maybe he saw a weapon. Maybe he saw somebody mentioned a gun. Whatever it is, that's not submission per se. That is, he's looking out for my safety and he does not want me in harm's way. That's totally different from, you're gonna submit to me. I'm the ruler. A man is the leader. Shut your ass up, okay? Because you're supposed to be on the same team with your partner. And if you're playing football or basketball or baseball on the same team, there is a captain and a co captain, but the team still works together as a team. This is what our strategy needs to be. Anybody have a problem with that? Y'all cool with that? We need to do more of this and less of this. It's a team effort. The captain doesn't need to break out a whip and start snapping the whip on the ground and telling people on the team, I'm the ruler and everybody's going to bow down to me. I mean, do you see how ridiculous that sounds, okay? And it's the same thing in relationships. There's no bowing down, there's no submitting, there's none of that. And, early on when you're getting to know somebody, okay? And this goes for men who date women as well, okay? Or same gender, it don't matter. Abuse is abuse is abuse. There's tiny little subtle things that somebody says that are so freaking disrespectful. And I'm going to interpret what those little subtle things are. And these are actual scenarios that have happened, okay? One lady said she was on YouTube and she was talking about she wears her hair like in twists or something. I don't remember exactly how she does it, braids or twists or something. Anyway, it took her a long time to grow her hair long, right? She went on a first date with this person and they went to a bookstore. He wastes no time, okay? He grabs a magazine and he starts flipping through it, and it has hairstyles in it, and he picks a short hairstyle and says you would look much better with this haircut. She looked at him and she said, "Do you even know how long it took me to grow my hair out?" And she left. She left. That's a smart thing to do, because the interpretation of that comment is you're not good enough the way you are. So I'm going to establish rules right out the gate, and I expect you to adhere to my rules. I'm here to establish that you need to change your hairstyle because, again, one, I need power over you, and two, you're not good enough the way you are. Now, let me also dig deeper into this, okay? Also, even if you did comply and you did something dumb, like chop your hair off for a total stranger, down the road, the person's going to say, I thought about it, and I think you look better with your hair longer. This is a typical narc move. No matter what you do, it will never, ever, ever be good enough. And if you comply, I'm going to tell you that this is a problem. And if you combat that problem, I'm going to come up with another problem. And if you have a solution for that, I'm going to have another problem. So it's a never ending cycle, and you will never, ever, ever make the sick individual happy. So don't even waste your time. These subtle little and not so subtle little comments are 1000% unnecessary, but they're telling you out the gate, I am a massive problem for you. I'm a massive headache for you, and you don't want to date me. You really don't, because I'm a pain in the ass right out the gate, okay? And then there was a point in time, and I'm going to interpret what that means too. I was talking to this fool on the phone, and I wasn't feeling him. I had gone out with him in person, but I wasn't really feeling him. There was zero chemistry, and something about him was off. I didn't know what it was, but something just didn't feel right. You better follow that. You better follow that feeling. You're feeling it for a reason. So we were having this discussion on the phone, and I basically was like, well, I'm used to being single, and I kind of like it. I really do. And I don't know what else I said, but he comes out the side of his neck and says, you don't know what you want. So let me interpret what that means. That's a very narcissistic, snotty comment, disrespectful comment to make to someone. Even if you know them, you don't know them, you just met them, whatever. You dated them for 6 months. No one has the right to say that to you. And when I interpret that comment, basically it says that what that means is you better be glad I came along into your life, because you had no clue what you were doing with your life until I rescued you. You didn't know how to potty train. Here you are, 35 years old, and you don't know how to potty train. Thank God I'm coming into your life so I can show you how to be an adult. They're so goddamn crushing and so disrespectful. You don't know what you want. I don't know what I said in response to that, because that was years ago. But I know a good response now. Good response is, well, I'll tell you what, I do know that I don't want you. Click. You know, that comment is so disrespectful. You don't know what you want. Like you were a complete idiot until I came into your life. You didn't know how to make decisions. You didn't know how to brush your teeth. You didn't know how to wash your hair or take a shower. You don't know how to do squat. You don't even know how to tie your shoes, and you're an adult. You're lucky I came along. You got to be freaking kidding me. But then you got to, also consider the source. This is the same individual who he was married for 20 years. She got cancer at the end, and that was very inconvenient for his pecker because he wanted to still hit it, and he couldn't because she was sick. How dare she be sick when he had sexual needs? So you're not really dealing with someone who has any emotional intelligence. You're dealing with a narcissistic, selfish bastard. So obviously, nothing that they say is relevant. Okay. I remember, and I told you guys about this before, there was a lady who went on a first date with someone, and you know, she had her makeup on and, she's looking cute and everything. And he insults her right out the gate. And he says, your foundation doesn't match your skin. And she had the perfect response. She said, I didn't know you were a professional makeup artist. Perfect response. Obviously, you're not going to have a relationship with this person. Um, you're not going to get to the point where you're trauma bonded. You're not going to get to the point where you cannot leave this person because the thought is unbearable. You're not going to allow yourself to catch feelings for them because you're dumping them after the first date. We're finished. And depending on what ignorance come out of their face, you could walk out on the date. You don't owe him squat, or you don't owe her squat, right? There was another guy who told me that he went out with this heifer, and she told him on the third date. People reveal who they are, okay? She said, and I quote, I like going out with guys when my boyfriend's out of town. I told you guys about this before. And he said, I got to use the restroom. I'll be back. And he ducked out the door and left. Okay? Which is very good. He stuck her with the bill. That's what you get. Better yet, contact your boyfriend and have him pay for it. What a bitch. People are horrible. Just horrible. And so, because he's a regular at that restaurant, I told you guys about this. He contacted the restaurant the next day, or went to the restaurant the next day and wanted to make sure she paid the bill. If she wasn't able to pay the bill, he was going to go ahead and cover it. And they were like, no, she covered the bill. And he's like, okay, cool. And I'm going to tell you something else. The individual I went out with over a week ago on a Sunday, okay? He is an overt and, okay, he's a covert and overt narcissist. Can a person be both? Yes. Yes. Overt, loud, mouthy, aggressive, has to be the center of attention. Always peacocking, strutting around the room like I'm all that in a bag of chips. They're very loud. They overtalk people. They just treat everybody like whatever comes out of your mouth is so irrelevant. Shut up. What about me? And so people get turned off by this person because they're just so goddamn obnoxious. However, the one that I went out with is covert and overt. Now, when he's with the meetup group, he is quiet. He's agreeable. He knows how to crack jokes in the appropriate time. He's got his nice guy costume on. Like all narcissists, they always wear their fraudulent nice guy outfit. Okay? Now, when I'm one-on-one with him, when I was one-on-one with him, he is agreeable initially, and then he puts the spotlight on his forehead, and I did this with my house, and I did this with my car, and I've done this with my life, and I'm going to retire in 2 years, and me, and so this is very overt behavior. So yes, a person can be both overt and covert, depending on the people that they're around, depending on their environment, depending on their mood, depending on who they're trying to act like a nice person in front of. And then when you get them one on one or behind closed doors, whatever the case may be, you will see the overt come out, and they will cut you off while you're talking. They will always overtalk you. And that's just on the short list of the crap that you have signed up for if you continue to be with this arrogant individual. So, I mean, like, wow, seriously? Are you kidding me right now? Wow. So people will show you exactly who they are. You have to pay attention to that, and you have to not make excuses. Do not turn red flags into green flags. Do not do that, because you are looking at PTSD down the line. You are looking at verbal abuse, physical abuse, health problems, financial problems, problems with family members because they're like, why are you with this person? What is wrong with you? What do you mean you're pregnant by this person? Are you crazy? There's going to be an atomic bomb go off in your life if you continue to stay, because this person's showing you right out the gate, hey, I'm an ass. I'm a complete ass. So if you stay and you make excuses for this person, you turn the red flags into green flags. Oh, honey. Oh, honey, one seatbelt is not enough. You better put on several. So instead of putting yourself directly in the lion's den, escape while you can. When you get to your car, block them before you drive off, or drive off and then block them, pull over and drop them, because you don't want them saying, coming over to your car and saying some more craziness. So get the hell away from the date, and as soon as you can, you block them on your phone. You block, block, block. Don't let them know too much about you. That's another thing. Do not let people know too much about your business, where you work, what building you work. I talked about this before, what floor you work on, in building such and such, on street such and such. They don't need to know all that. They don't need to know where your parents live, where your grandparents live. They don't need to know where your baby daddy lives. They don't need to know none of that, because the longer you stay involved with this idiot, abusive idiot, now you've given them, you have no place to hide. So if they decide they want to get violent, oh, you gonna break up with me? You gonna break up with me? And they decide that they're gonna get violent, you done told them every place that you're gonna be, because you told them where all your family members live. So you gotta be very careful with who you get involved with. You gotta be very careful what you tell them. You do not want to give them a blueprint of how to come after me and where to come after me. Should you decide to lose your goddamn mind, oh, I know where her parents are. I'll bet you she's with them. He's going down the road to do something horrible to you and or your parents. You got to be careful. When you see the red flags, get out of Dodge. No excuses other than, I'm protecting myself and I'm out of here. I'm not dealing with this crazy ass fool. And you acting a fool straight out the gate on the first date. You act as stupid. Well, it don't get no better than that. It gets worse and worse and worse. Okay? You ain't got no opportunity. You escape now. Right away, you escape. No trauma bonding. No falling in love with this person, so it's devastating. The idea of leaving them is devastating. We ain't going there. We ain't developing feeling. We're not even developing feelings on a microscopic level. You're done. You're fired. You're done. My foot's in your ass. Goodbye. All right, you guys, take care. Much love.